Kimberly here, and I'm excited to share with you my overview and explanation of DOUC in Danger. This is a card game for 2 to 6 players and takes about 30 minutes to play, and it really does work well ranging with the 2 to 6 players because there are going to be two major roles that you will continually change throughout the game. One is the Ranger, and the other is the Poacher. And so what's happening here is you've got these doucs, these monkeys in danger, and the Ranger wants to save them, and the Tourist, which is the other role that everyone else at the table is going to play if they're not the Ranger or the Poacher, can do either. They can either help or they can hurt, and it's totally up to them. Players are going to be dealt 5 cards at the start of the round, and once this deck has gone through to the rainy season, which is the card on the bottom, that's going to be the end of the round, and then you will play 3 of those to comprise a game. Now, I've got this Tourist right here, I've got the Ranger up here, and I've got the Poacher over here. So what the Poacher is going to do is they're going to look at their hand, and they're going to play down a card from their hand. The numbers in a 3-player game range between 1 and 9, and if you have fewer players, you'll take out the 8 and 9 for that 2-player game, and then you'll just continue adding cards up to, I think it's 12, strength 12, for each of the suits when you have a higher player count. So what is this person going to do? They're simply going to play a card out, hoping that the Ranger is not going to be able to save them with a higher card of the same suit or a trump card. So let's start off with this 2. I'm going to play that 2 as the Poacher. And so that means this Duke, this cutie little patootie, is in danger. My Ranger is going to look at their hand and say, okay, what do I have? Right now I'm looking at these 2 blue cards, which is 1 suit. The green does work. I can play a 7 over top of that 2 and save them. This yellow 4 doesn't do anything. This is a trump. Save your trump cards for when you really need them is my take. So let's say the Ranger wants to save that Duke because that's what you want to do as the Ranger. You're going to play that 7 on top of the 2. That means that that particular Duke is rescued. But this Ranger has opened up a can of worms for the Poacher to take advantage of, because now, in addition to the number 2, our Poacher can also play 7s to put those Dukes in danger, not caring at all about the suit. So 4 can't play, 1 can't play, 3 can't play, can play the 7, but to put that Duke at risk as a trump is tough because this role is going to change, and then this Poacher is going to become the Ranger in clockwise turn order and really want to play that 7. So I'm going to say that they're going to hold on to it. So right now our Poacher isn't going to add any more cards, but here's what our Tourist is able to do. They look at their hand and say, well, I've got a 2 and a 7. And they're not trumps, and it's a way for me to get rid of cards and to also put a little pressure on this Ranger because this Ranger is my opponent in this game. Despite Tourists having good intentions, they sometimes don't always do the best thing for the Dukes. So this player is going to play out a 2. They're allowed to join and essentially help the Poacher or join and help the Ranger. Now, let's see back here what the Ranger's got. Okay. Look, they're going to play this down. They're going to say, I can save that Duke, right? It's a number that's higher than the number played in the same suit. So that Ranger says, you thought you got me, okay? Now, 4 is now a number that's allowed to be played in addition to 2, in addition to 7. So you see how trying to save these Dukes gives those other people more opportunities to put Dukes in danger. I think I'm going to play this one as the Tourist, again, just to kind of put that pressure on. Let's see how my other person is doing. Okay, 4. Okay, we're going to play a 4 out here. So many Dukes in danger by these Poachers and these Tourists. And so my Ranger is looking really, really sad right now. Definitely can play a 2 out, can't play either of those. I think at this point, my ranger says if I don't save these dukes, then they're going to come to me as negative points at the end of the round. So I think what they're going to do is play that and save that one. And then here is this player, can't do that, could save that with their own card because again, they can save or they can put in danger. They could have played here, but my ranger played too fast and put it here instead of over here. And so sometimes it's that timing that really comes into play. Let's see if there's anything else. No, no, no. And at a certain point, everybody at the table is just going to pass and say, as the ranger, I can't save anymore. As the poacher, I'm not going to put any more at risk. As the tourist, I'm going to, take my camera and go back to camp. So if they are saved, we take these saved dukes, we put them in the box lid, and then this one, because they weren't saved, is going to go right here. I'm going to keep them face up in that player's area because that means this person now has a negative point at the end of the round. There are 3 rounds in the game though, and we're going to keep playing here until this deck runs out. So starting with our poacher, everyone's going to draw back up to their card hand of 5 in turn order. So here we've got 5, there we've got 4, here we've got 5, and then lastly, this character. Okay, now these rolls are going to pass clockwise, and now that person who was playing the ranger is now the poacher, the person who was the tourist is now the ranger, and our poacher is now our tourist. And the poacher is going to begin by putting a duke in danger. So this play is a fascinating dynamic of, well, what exactly is this tourist going to do? Are they going to try to offload a bunch of cards, knowing they have to draw back up? Are they going to help out the ranger? Are they going to help out the poacher? The card dynamic is really interesting with what you can save. Again, it has to be higher than the number played in the suit, or it needs to be a trump card. And if you don't save them as the ranger, you get to keep that kind of on your conscience, right? You were unable to save that duke, so you keep that as negative points. And so you don't want to have that at the end of the round because the player who's going to have the most points obviously lost the game. Now there are 3 other cards for tourists, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tourists with each the poacher and the ranger in the game. These are the suits that we didn't use for a 3-player game. It's got the 10, 11, 12 of every suit. And then these cards right here with the hearts and then the targets are going to be part of the danger level expansions. So the really cool thing about this game is this is the base game. This is danger level 1. And you are going to be playing through this deck 3 times, scoring up the points at the end. There are at least 4 other danger levels that add some complexity and some twist or some change to this game that makes it just a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more challenging, and more interesting. And so once you've mastered this base game, once you've figured out the dynamic of these cards and really how to get rid of all of your cards without taking any of those unsaved dukes as the ranger, then you move on to danger level 2, danger level 3. And I've got Taste of Danger level 5 in this sealed envelope that I got with my prototype copy. And so there's just something really exciting about having those envelopes to open and having those brand new levels that are just waiting for you to check out. So there is a ton of great card play in this game that I know is just a passion project for the designers and for the artists because these are real animals, they are real monkeys that are actually endangered, and they are trying so hard to kind of get the message out about the theme in addition to pairing it well with a lovely light card game. So thank you for sitting through my overview, how to play this game, Duke in Danger. All right, everybody, I'll see you next time.